Number 14 on my fantasy playlist, up two from number 16, a song that kind of spread like wildfire across some of the radio stations, particularly the alternative radio stations. David Gray from Manchester, England on my fantasy playlist, December 30th, 2000, with Babylon. David Gray, he put out his first album in 1993 and it sank without a trace. The two albums that followed that also failed, probably due to the fact that his record company did not support him. But Dave Matthews, the famed Dave Matthews, of Dave Matthews Band, he liked David Gray. He signed David Gray to his ATO record label and put out the album White Ladder. White Ladder, it was the charm. It was the big album for David Gray, his first big album. And Babylon, the first single off of that, which was a pretty big single. But here's the thing about this album. David Gray's White Ladder album eventually went to number one. The album went to number one in England 2.5 years, a little bit less than 2.5 years after it was released. The second longest run to number one by any album that was put out in England. The album that surpassed White Ladder by David Gray was one that was put out by T-Rex. It's called My People Were Fair and had, oh gosh, I can't read my chicken scratch. It's a very long title. My People Were Fair and had, what was it? Oh gosh, I can't read my writing. It's a very long title. Had about nine. Well, bottom line was T-Rex put out an album that took about 4 years to make it to number one in England. Therefore, David Gray coming in at number 2. But he's at number 14 on my fantasy playlist. Another song that I recommend by David Gray. Now, the one that came after Babylon hit the spot. I loved it. Please forgive me. It's a beautiful record by David Gray. Do recommend that one. But we got Babylon at number 14 on my fantasy playlist, December 30th, 2000.